Hello everyone, welcome to the Citydwellers office here. My name is Kelly Baker. I'm one of the brokers here, and Citydwellers has been here since 2005, and like I said, I'm one of the brokers. I'm also an attorney, and so I kind of usually deal with our larger projects and everything, but at the same time, we have partnerships here with a lot of programs in DC and Maryland in particular for homebuyers, and it's not just first-time homebuyers. Through the stimulus funds that we hear about so often, a lot of that money was put towards housing. And so there's an initiative to prevent foreclosures from spiraling out of control. There's an initiative for people to be homebuyers to bring our communities back, to add to the property tax roll, because that's a large part of municipality and city income. So that's all, and then of course the stability of neighborhoods in general. There's a lot of funds out there. So this is a pretty comprehensive list. There's actually new programs. There's a couple I'll mention that are newly funded that I need to add on here, but I'll mention it to you. Of course, I can always email you information. Okay, so we can get started from the top of the list here. Well, first, even before that, the home buying process, since everyone would be a first-time home buyer, the most important thing is the lender and the process to find out where you stand. So, we have access to quite a few good lenders if you don't have one, but it's important that you get what's called pre-approved. So you know how much home you can afford or how much home you want to pay for, because they can tell you what they'll give you, but of course at the end of the day it's the payment you feel comfortable with. If there's any issues on your credit that you might need to clear up, they let you know. Usually takes a couple months. If that's the case, most people just have to clear up a couple credit cards or something like that, and then you get rolling. So the next step is find the property, and some of these grants are neighborhood specific, where so you'll know ahead of time how much you can afford with each program based on where you end up living. But then you find out, okay, let me search and see what I like, and then you make the decision, and then from there, what our team here at Citydwellers does will help you find the property, but then make the offer, counter offer, those type of things, negotiate. We also have agents trained so that when you make the offer, that it works out in your best benefit, hopefully as little money down as possible. So that's a lot goes into the negotiation there. Then you go through the regular process, home inspection, appraisal, and finally you have your settlement. So let's start with the CF Homes program. Now, the CF Homes program is a DC government and HUD based grant program. Now, they give what's called a low interest second loan, but there are so many benefits to the loan, so I'll break it down for you. First of all, they give, actually this is one of the programs that it's $75,000 for everyone, no matter what price home you buy. So we've had people buy things for $125 and they get $75 down, or as high as $400,000, and they can still get that $75,000. Now, this second trust mortgage has a 3.79% interest rate. Now, what it does is it allows you to use that as a down payment and for your closing cost assistance on a loan. A lot of first-time home buyers are using FHA loans. FHA loans require 3.5% down. The biggie is they have a huge 1.75% mortgage insurance premium that's wrapped into the loan. So that adds on to your principal. In addition, you also pay a monthly mortgage insurance because you're putting less than 80% down, where that comes into play. So with this CF Homes down payment assistance program, it allows most buyers to go conventional. Now, conventional loans don't have, if you put in 20% down, even some with 10% down, you don't have to pay that mortgage insurance premium. So I'll give you an example of a couple that I helped right before the holidays move into their home. They moved in um, off of, it's the Woodridge area of South Dakota Avenue. They really wanted a single family home. They wanted 4 bedrooms or more. So first we started with FHA, and they were approved for $350,000. However, they wanted their payment to stay around no more than $2,400 a month. So, but really, at that point, they wanted $2,200. That brought them down to $325,000. So we're looking in the city. They want to live anywhere as long as it's in the city. So we're uptown, we're downtown, we're everywhere looking. Most houses needed work that had 4 bedrooms or more. Most houses needed work, and so they would have to increase their budget just to do construction. The few houses that were decent, there were bidding wars, and they got outbid, and it was, we probably looked for about 4 months, and they said, you know what, found out the wife was pregnant, and it's like, you know what, we just need to take a break and recalibrate. I'm like, okay, well, if anything I can think of, I'll keep you posted. So I ran into someone at this nonprofit, and we started talking. They said, that might work for that couple. So I called them up, so let's get pre-approved again through this program. They require 2% down as opposed to 3.5%. Don't have to be a first-time home buyer, even though they were. So they were pre-approved, and this time instead of $350,000, they were approved for $400,000. And he said, well, great, let's go. Look, we went out that weekend, found a single-family 5-bedroom home, totally renovated, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, gorgeous home, and the list price was $370,000. And so we went to the lender, like, look, we found this house this weekend. How much is the payment going to be on $370,000? It was $1,900 a month. So, looking at $325,000, we were at $2,200 a month with FHA because of the mortgage insurance and all those things. But here we are, found the perfect home, bumped them into a new price range. They got everything they were looking for and more, and their payment was actually less. So, using these funds can actually increase your buying power tremendously. So really helped them out. And if you look on the far right column, the income level is at what's called the 120% median income level. So I made a chart based on your household size. The far right, the 120% area median, one person can make up to $90,000, 2 people, 103, and so forth. So that qualifies a lot more people than a lot of the other programs. Now, there is a strategy to this program. I have to give a caveat that they do have what's called, they want to keep their home affordable after purchasing. So this home, I think it works good for 5 years, get you in, and then if you're interested in making a lot of profit and a lot of money, you might want to move. What they do is, any equity, they always make sure I don't say any appreciation in value, they want to limit to 25% of the appreciated value. So I'll give an example coming forward, but what I will say is equity that you will keep is every month that you're paying down the principal, all that you keep. Actually, any improvements you make to the property, let's say you had a $10,000 debt, just keep the receipts, let them know. The appraiser say, well, that $10,000 debt you added 3 years ago, now it adds $15,000 worth of value to your home, you get that $15,000. But any appreciation, let's say a $400,000 house is now worth $440,000 5 years later. What they want to do is you sell the house, that $40,000, they want you to keep 10 so that somebody can buy that house for $410 instead of $440. Okay, so it doesn't affect you now. They helped you get $75,000 out, no closing costs, 2% to get in a home. If it's a $400,000 home, that's $8,000. So I think it evens out depending on how appreciation goes in the city. But but 20 years later, that could affect your bottom line tremendously. So I think it's a good strategy. Again, 5-7 year mark, get you in, get that tax savings from your interest write-offs, all those benefits. But for the long term, it's just something that, your financial strategy, you definitely need to take that into consideration.